Okay, hey YouTube, I am ready to get going here. Let me begin recording. Excited I don't need this so close to me because it's way too loud. My things are like off the Richter scale on here. Welcome back to the Don't Stop Me Now podcast, where being negative can be a good thing and being positive can turn the world against you. Hello, I am your HIV positive host, Miss Jennifer Lee Vaughn, and this is episode number 119. How is everybody out there in podcasting land? It is Sunday, October 27th, and here I am again. This is a habit. I'm doing it. I have so many things to talk about today. I want to get all the little things out of the way first. I had a lot of comments last week. I had my hair up. I had no makeup on. Somebody asked me, they said I looked really sick. And they said they were concerned about me and about my medication and that I'm not taking enough. And it looks like I'm basically going downhill. I had a cold. I have a cold a little bit. It's much better. And I had no makeup on. I decided that day just to wear my hair up. God forbid I wear my hair up and have no makeup on, because the comments are not good. I'm told that I look like I'm dying of AIDS. And someone actually asked if I had Kaposi sarcoma. That is, those are the brown spots that people would get, I guess, if they're, I don't know. I never hear of anybody having that anymore. I also heard that was a male thing. It's way more male to have Kaposi sarcoma, but Kaposi sarcoma, it's a form of cancer that shows up on your skin, and it's when you're, in a late stage AIDS condition. And I was tested for it when I had AIDS. I don't have AIDS, but somebody had noticed this age spot on the side of my face right here. I'm like, asked if that was Kaposi sarcoma. No, it's not. It's just me getting old. I'm 54. Actually, that's been there for a long time. That spot. So yeah, let's get that out of the way. I'm not dying of AIDS. I do not have Kaposi sarcoma. My backache was definitely from coughing. That only was that morning that I had sort of like a bit of, it was nothing major. It was pretty minor, but I did have a little bit of a backache. It was definitely from coughing the day before. My abs actually were a little sore too, all from coughing the day before. That it's not AIDS. I don't have AIDS. I don't have like a high viral load. I mean, I would feel something. I'm fine. I just had a cold. I had a cold from the one school, and then I got better, like 3 weeks of normal. And then I went to this new school, and everybody there is sick. Like all the kids are snotting, and a lot of them didn't come to school. The teachers are wearing masks. They've got colds. People are not working. I took Thursday off. Just junk's going around. So I caught that cold there. Different school, different germs. I don't know, but I got another one. So whatevs. I mean, it's fine. Just a cold. Okay. Let's talk about the hair situation really quick, and then I'll get into comments. And I want to get into all of this HIV news, and I have interesting things to read about it, about treatment and what's going on. So someone had said that wow stuff that you used is not for curly hair, like to spray, and there's a specific one that's for curly hair. So what I want to say to that is I watched a TikTok with a woman who had curly hair. It was wet hair. She sprayed this all over. I went directly from her, I think I went directly from her thing and ordered it. But then I didn't order it because then I realized if I made my own little ad, I could get it for free. So maybe I ordered the wrong one. This one is called Color Wow Dream Coat Super Natural Spray. Magically transforms texture, amazing humidity proofing powers. I do believe there is a different one for curly hair. So somebody had said, that this isn't the one. So maybe they're right. I might have ordered the wrong one for the commercial. It doesn't matter. Nobody watched the damn ad anyways. But I'm starting to think that whatever's in here is probably the same thing in the other one also. I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe that there's like something really special in the other one for curly hair. So I'm just done with it. I'm not going to buy it. Let's see. Somebody was really offended that I said a woman of color or a black woman when referring to her comment about my hair being wavy and not curly. And they said that was just uncalled for. I don't know why people get so sensitive. I mentioned that she was a woman of color because clearly she has curly hair, like really curly hair. And I thought maybe that her perspective on curly hair, it was just to give her more of a perspective of who it came from, because obviously her curly hair is different than mine. And so that was where it came from. That was why I was sharing that. I just don't know why everyone gets so up in arms if I mention that. It's like, shit, man, I'm just trying to give you an idea of who it came from so you understand her perspective and why she might say my hair is wavy. So I looked up, curls and different types. So on Google, when you look up curly hair types, and it literally says 9 curly hair types. Curly. It says curly. Meaning people, there is a lot of like biases when it comes to curly hair, and people get offended, and it's like, it's no, your hair is not that curly. It's like, oh my God, what is up with all that? But I was a little offended too that I was told that I'm not allowed. It made me feel like I'm not allowed to say I have curly hair. I was like, no, you have wavy hair. But I've never ever referred to my hair as wavy. I've always said it was curly. Anyways, it looks like and then when you look at the curly hair types, there's a row, it says A2, A3, A4. I'm definitely not in the 4 range for any of those. I don't have like super tight curls. Like if you look up close, you can see that like where it starts at the base, if you're on YouTube, you can see like here, some of these curls go like this. They go forward and they do spiral. But as my hair goes down, it is like more wavy. I get that. So it's a little different. It's definitely different in this section. And it used to be spirally all the way down. I have proof. I have pictures. But my hair has, it's probably from me straightening it over the years. Maybe just age. I don't know. I think, so I probably have like a 3A in this general area, which says classic curls. And then I would say down here, this is probably more 2B or B2, whatever it is, soft waves. So I don't know. That's what I'm going with. But I'm still going to say curly just because it's, this isn't straight hair. I mean, this is, I don't know. I just have never referred to my hair my wavy hair. I've just always said curly hair. And yeah, so whatever. Nice cough. So healthy sounding. It's just sorry for anybody listening through a podcast site, and that was very loud. What can I do? I've got phlegm in my throat. Okay, let's go to the comments and just make sure I didn't miss anything before I get into the treatments, the weekly, because I know that's what people want to know about, going from a daily pill to a weekly pill. And yeah, kind of excited about that. 8 minutes ago, how do we connect for a call? Someone just wrote to me. Angel, I don't do phone calls. Let's see. What about giving sex to a woman with HIV? It doesn't matter. You cannot get HIV that way, even if she was not on treatment. There are no cases of female to female transmissions, so that doesn't happen. Somebody asked if my friend who did, I don't know if I can, I don't want to say her name. Never mind, that one I'm just going to skip. They just asked if she had a YouTube channel. No, she doesn't. I need to answer that. I haven't responded to, let me filter these. They make this so hard. You have to have, like, I responded to responses with new replies. It's just show me all the comments. Like, why do you have to make this so hard on me, YouTube? Okay. Because people had nice things to say. Doreen says, making me nervous laugh. I don't know why. Okay, this I'm going to touch on after, because this is when I want to talk about like the daily pill versus a weekly pill. This John Gibson says, I've already commented on why an HIV specialist will not advise to reduce the frequency of medication. Simply over time, only taking a tablet every 3 days will not suppress the virus and will cause it to replicate. I don't believe that. Respect HIV. Don't think you are bigger than HIV. It will always win. No, it won't. I hope Lee realizes the implications of what she's doing. Don't act as though you know more than the medical experts simply because you are HIV. I'm not HIV. I'm HIV positive. And I don't think I am, but this is based on having conversations with many people who have reduced their drug intake and they have been fine. So that's what it's based on. It's not, yeah. So anyways, and you know, I thought about it, and you know, so there's a couple things. It is not easy for humans to take a pill every other day or every third day. That can become very confusing. Humans need simplicity. We need to do something where it's every single day, because otherwise we will forget, typically, right? That is my thought process on why we have to do it every day. And I think that's what the drug companies just come up with, because it's just safer that way. That way it's just, no one forgets that. Just take it every day and then it'll be fine. But I don't believe that the medication is gone after 24 hours and you have to take it the next day or you're going to start getting into trouble. Because too many people miss medications and they don't become detectable. You know, I know too many people. Plus, I have friends, like I have one friend who's taking it every Monday and Thursday. That's when she takes her pill. Monday and Thursday. She's been doing this for 6 months. She's still undetectable. I just don't think that I think in general, they have to make it an everyday thing just so we don't forget. Because like I said, people aren't going to remember every third day. That's too hard for people. So make it simple. Make it simple, stupid. So, and the same goes with the injection, Cabenuva. So it used to be every month, but of course they changed that to every 2 months because they know that we don't have to do it every month. So they changed it to every 2 months, but that's still kind of hard for people to get in and get injections, depending on how, you know, your work and getting an appointment and all of that stuff. So, you know that there's got to be leeway. There has to be, because of course, my daughter calls every time I'm doing a podcast. There has to be leeway because of that, because people aren't, you know, they can't always get in specifically or right on time 8 weeks later. So they have, like, I'm sure all the scientists sat down and said, okay, we know the medication is good for actually, like, the buffer. We know it's actually good for, and I'm guessing on this, but, you know, 3 to 4 months. We put it in you, it's good for probably 3 to 4 months. We tell them they come back at 2 months. That's much safer than telling them to come back at 3 months, because then we're getting into trouble. We need to be really conservative about when they come back so that there isn't any blurry area. Does that make sense? But I don't think the blurry area comes right after 2 months. There's no way, because they have to, you know, part of it is dealing with human behavior and how often people can get in for injections. So conservative, they had to make the time frame shorter, but you know that medication lasts longer. It has to. So this is the same, I feel, for the daily pill. And again, don't do anything that I'm doing. I'm doing this. I'm not telling anybody else to do this. This is just what I'm doing. So, and I'll get it more into the study that I found that just came out some information about that in just a second. But I want to go into some more comments before that. Someone said they had tested negative after 2 years of anxiety and depression. It was a dude. Guys, take the test. He was negative, obviously. I mean, come on. Oh, I just said that. Yeah, he was negative. Yeah, take the test. Like, you take the test. If you're a dude who's straight, the odds are heavily in your favor. It's going to be negative. And why waste all this time being stressed out for nothing? Okay. Funny guy, hi there, says, thank you for being so transparent. I've dabbled with this for various reasons and access issues in a very structured way. And yes, for various reasons and access issues in various structured way. And yes, I can feel all the crap coming back slowly. I know my body so well, but it's manageable, and we have to consider that we can lose access at any moment due to wars, etc., supply chain issues. This isn't talked about enough. I haven't felt anything come back. I just had a cold. But okay, let's see. Oh, this is going back to the hair thing. Okay, I won't get into that. I did so much on my hair the other day, but it was JRed80. She was the one who had recommended Diva Curl for me. That's the gel that I showed last week. And yeah, that one. She was just giving like instructions on how she uses it. So yeah, I might try it that way too. But she does use some other products with hers as well. Someone says, okay, it's ultimately your choice if you want to lower the frequency with which you take your ARVs, but I will just say that you look significantly healthier. Come on. During your podcast 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I had makeup on and I didn't have a cold. For what the opinion of the internet stranger is, you look significantly. Sorry. For what the opinion of an internet stranger is worth to you, I honestly don't think you're doing yourself any favors by cutting back. I'm neither a doctor nor a virologist, but if I were to hazard a guess, I'd say that your viral load is sharply increasing and your CD4 count is sharply decreasing. Again, this is all ultimately your choice, but I don't think medication reduction is a good idea. Well, that's your opinion. And yeah, I clarified that I had a cold and no makeup. Sorry. Okay. This is the real Zeri. I don't know how to say. This is the one that said, good day. Are those Kaposi sarcoma dot lesions on the side of your face, Lee? Oh, Jesus. You people are, I said, you guys are a hoot. Like, you guys are wild, really. Someone had said to me that they were so happy to see my podcast, and it makes them, like, so happy when they see it. I wanted to find that comment. Let's see, where is it? Someone said the straight hair is nice as well, but that wavy style you do with it sometimes is the most beautiful, I think. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name. Viggianioj. And it's a man. Thank you. 89 something IK. I don't know. Your inner light is amazing, Lee. Oh, that was from a different video. Okay. I'm trying to find just from that particular video. Hold on. Yeah, some people are harsh, man. Harsh on me. But, you know, it's okay. I put myself out there. It's expected. Okay, comments. But God, I'm never going to go on here again without makeup. And it's funny, I can't see myself when I look, because through my glasses, I literally, like, I have to be up close. But I kind of want to flip my hair on the other side, but I know I can't see what I'm doing right now, so I'm not going to do it. Okay. Back to here. What? Oh gosh, I'm gonna read the one day ago. It's more about just people like saying how I'm just gonna like drop dead if I do this, cutting back on my medication. My dog's, he's dreaming over there. He's making little noises. Elderberry, I don't know. I mean, maybe I think that's if you start to get a cold. I need to take zinc the second I feel a cold come on. It always starts as a little tickle in your throat. My friend said, zinc, zinc, zinc. That stops it. You've got to do it right when you feel the tickle. Someone said they were, Misty Diane. She said she got emotional when I was talking about Owen's senior night and having his dad there when 6 months ago things looked bleak. I'm so glad that you all got to experience that as a family. I pray he continues to stay sober and can be present in all of these milestones and memories. Me too. I've told him that in the last few days too. Someone said she was ready to tell you that you calling your hair curly was cultural appropriation, but in the end she thought better be subtle, and so she decided to educate you and inform you that your hair is actually wavy. What a sweetheart. I don't know how to take that. Jesus. Okay. This is Bryce Herring. He says, HIV is spread by a small group of gay men who had very risky and dangerous anal sex without any protection with other men, who then sleep with other men, all usually within the confines of a small confined area like a city, New York, LA, San Francisco, etc. And then it's quickly and easily spread within these small groups. Also, why does no one ever talk about gay men never wearing protection, yet alls we see and hear on TV are these PrEP commercials? We need to stop normalizing and accepting this sinful behavior, and it's now so badly spilled over into the mainstream that now nobody is safe or immune, even when men and women are hooking up. Well, it's not safe for women. Hetero men are the safe. They are the safest. Let's see. Sorry, that black woman was trying to tell you what you know your hair is not. I'm black and know white people and other races can have curly hair. That's a little bit how I felt. That I'm not, I don't know. Yeah, that's how I felt, that I'm less than. Love when you post Jen from Clouds in My Coffee 69. Thank you. I need to heart that. Thank you. This is about someone who decided not to date for all the reasons. I get it. You're an awesome person. Stay strong-minded. Thank you. Hair stuff. Okay. Just a few more and then I'll move on to that article. There we go again. What she means is that you are in the wavy hair category 2B or 2C, but definitely not a 3. I'm definitely not a 3. I know that. If you wouldn't put just anything in your hair, curly hair is more difficult than mentioning that she is a person of color. This is the one that said it's uncalled for. But I just was trying to explain she obviously has way curlier hair than me. She's a 3 for sure. Even though she straightens her hair. But, I mean, her natural curl would be obviously very different than mine. A lot of people wrote about that. If the color wow... Oh, no, this is something different. Isn't the curly one, it only works with heat. Okay, that was the one that told me I kind of got the wrong one. Is it possible for someone to be tested positive later, say after 1 year or more, considering fourth generation test negative and after 4 weeks from brief exposure, and also considering no risky behavior after that specific exposure? My God. No. I mean, what do you guys think? That it's hiding from these totally accurate tests? It's not the 80s. These tests are accurate. Like, fourth generation is conclusive at 18 days. It's testing for the antigen. That's basically, they say that's even probably good at like 2 weeks. 18 days is conclusive. Antibody, I'd say 4 to 6 weeks, but they say 3 months conclusive. Like, no, there's nothing 1 year. There's nothing. It's either there or it's not. This is the one. LASANTUZZA 77. Wow, Jen, you're really spoiling us lately with these frequent uploads. I'm so happy. You have no idea. Laugh out loud. I remember a while back you said that there was this TikToker you love to watch, and whenever she uploaded, you would get so excited. That's how I feel when I see a new podcast from you. I ate my Chipotle burrito while listening to this one. I apologize in advance for what will be a majorly long comment, but I have so much to say. I didn't for this one. Laugh out loud. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for all that you do for the little ones. I can see how deeply you care for them and what a nurturing heart you possess. Your last podcast, I Miss My Mom, moved me to tears. My son hasn't been officially diagnosed with autism, but it's been suspected by his speech therapist. He's still a bit young for a formal diagnosis, but I expect to receive an autism 1 diagnosis one day in the future. It's my biggest hope that he will be surrounded by teachers like you who are so exceptionally caring and patient. Oh, thank you. You deserve so much good for all you do. Children with special needs are often neglected and resented for being born different, as if they had a choice. To be living a more difficult experience is such a shame. You may be indefinitely blessed for what you do, Jen. Your heart is so in it, and I really, really love to see that. They honestly do not make women like you anymore. Wow, thank you. That is like that. I didn't respond to that in writing because I just wanted to say personally thank you so much for that. That really did make me feel really good, and I did read that one all the way through, so thank you so much. I do have to say though that from what I see for the kids that I see in these classes, people love them. I mean, they really do. We have this one kid, Javier. He's just so freaking cute. He has the reddest hair. He's all freckly. I don't really know what his condition is. I have to look at his IEP, but he doesn't have traditional Down syndrome, but I would say like he presents kind of as like a kid with Down syndrome, but he doesn't have the facial features so much, so I'm not really sure. He has like a raspy, deep voice, and he's like, what, 6, 7? I don't even know. The red hair is adorbs. I mean, he is a hoot. He says hi to everybody in the hallway, and he walks a little bit off. He's got a little bit of a issue with his gait, but he's oh my God, you say these kids are special. Yes, he's special. He's always happy. Like, he's a sweetheart. And he does this thing. It's his little, they call it stemming. When he does, maybe I talked about this in the last podcast. I don't remember, sorry. But I think I was telling my friend. But he kind of, as a reward, if he does well on the playground, he has a one-on-one with him. He has a BT, a behavior tech. But she says if he does well in class or whatever, she will give him time to sit in the wood chips, and he basically sits there. It's like instant. If he gets to go to the wood chips, he sits down, he props his legs open, he makes a pile of wood chips in in between his legs, and he is flicking them up fast. He flicks them up towards his face. It's almost like he's smelling a fart or something, but he's not even smelling, but he's flicking up the wood chips up towards his face. There's a dust cloud around his face, and he ends up, because he does sometimes have moisture on his face from, I don't know, a runny nose or drool or whatever, and it'll end up, the dust will stick to his face. He always has to have his face washed off after he's at the playground. But while he's doing this, he's happily talking to himself about something. You can't really understand him, but you just hear him. I wish I could film him, but I can't. But he's just going on about something, and it is the cutest freaking thing to watch, because it's he's in his little happy world. He's just in this happy world of just flicking wood chips up at his face, and it's getting all over his shirt. It's sticking to his pants, and just but I don't know, it's so endearing. And a lot of these little stemming things that kids do that help them feel, it helps regulate them. They feel better when they do these little things that they do. It's their little traits. There's a kid at my after school program who looks down at his hands and he shakes them really fast. And then, he kind of looks around to see if anybody's noticing him. He's in gen ed, but he does something with his fingers, and then he's concentrating on shaking them really hard, like all of his fingers. And I've seen him do it a million times. I obviously never say anything to him about it. If he looks up and sees me, I just kind of like really quickly, like I don't ever want him to think I'm looking at him. So I'm very casual about just acting like I never noticed it at all. Because I know he feels some sort of embarrassment about it. And he tries to kind of do it in areas where the kids aren't right there. I've noticed that kids don't say anything to him about it. But anyways, these little stemming things that they do are really endearing. They just are. I can't explain it. It's just cute. So yeah, I'm still on the road to the credential. I'm working on my resume, cover letter. I have another letter of recommendation on its way. I have my transcripts and I've got my test scores, and I need to set up an interview with the school district. So that's for the actual job. And then and I got the nicest compliment from the director of, I honestly can't tell you her title, but she's like the head of the IEPs. So she's going to be training me on the programs. It's called Cyrus. That's where all the IEP information will be for each student. And it's like, so like, there's a lot. Like, that's the reason why I've kind of never done this job before, is because of that part of it. It's the reporting. I'm considered a case manager for every child in the classroom. So they have all these different goals that they lay out every year, or within 3 years even, because they have tries, which is the triannuals, which is like once every 3 years. But they have these IEPs once a year where they go over goals. So they all have very specific goals that they need to achieve every year. And that is my job, to make sure that they have the tools in place to do these things. I mean, something just simple as, recognizing all of their lowercase alphabet letters, or, being able to cut on their own, cut a circle out on their own without assistance. Being able to say that they need to use the restroom, being able to verbally ask somebody to use the restroom. But all of them are different, and each child has many different goals. And so you have to think about all of these things every day, how to incorporate what's best for these children to get them to achieve these goals. So I was telling this woman that it does look overwhelming, learning how to do IEPs, and I have to report everything as well. But I'm very organized. She just said it's basically like, it can seem overwhelming, but once you learn the system, and if you're organized, it makes it so much easier. And I am organized. And if I have the time after class ends every day to input information, I'm going to do it. And so I told her, look, I don't want to be that person, because I heard the teacher prior to me did not do a good job, and there was a lot that was left undone, and she wasn't following up. And then it becomes a giant mess because there isn't follow-up. We don't know where the kid is with regards to like what they've learned and where they are, and what's happening with all of that. So I just told her, I don't want to be that teacher. I want to make sure that they're, all of their goals are met and it's being reported. And I don't want anyone talking about me saying, Jennifer doesn't get anything done, she's just slacking or whatever. And she just smiled and she goes, that's why we want you. I was like, oh, she goes, like, she just had a big smile on her face and she goes, that's why everybody wants you. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So they all have faith in me, which makes me feel even better, knowing that just whatever I've shown so far as a substitute teacher for SPED, they've all seen it and they think that I am capable of doing this job, which, yeah, makes me feel really good. So I'm ready. I just have to have the interview with the school district and hope to God that they offer me the income that I'm hoping for, because they've got to offer me more than what I'm making with my two jobs together, because I won't want to do my after school job if I'm going to do this job full time, I'm going to want to be available when I get out of this job every day to, work on my classroom and all that stuff. Okay. And work on my IEPs and make sure that I'm like really up to date. It's important for the kids' progress. It's important for the parents. And you don't want to be that teacher that let shit slide, because like that looks bad.
Like, I don't want to be that person. I want people to be proud of me. I want people to be like happy I'm there. And I feel all of that right now, but like the true job hasn't happened yet because I haven't done any IEP reporting. And like when that happens, I just want to make sure I'm doing it all right. Okay. Before I get into this study, because I know people are probably tuning in because of the title, that this is why they wanted to watch this podcast. Sorry about the coughing. Sorry. Abacavir. So abacavir was the third medication in Triumec that was taken out. Now I take, Jesus, I started a whole coughing attack. Now I take Dovato, which does not have abacavir in it. So I saw this recently about abacavir. So I'm kind of glad it's not in the medication I take anymore. It says current abacavir users had a 50% higher risk for cardiovascular events such as heart attacks and strokes. Nice. Current or previous use of the antiviral drug abacavir is sold alone as Zygen. It's spelled S-I-Z-I-A, G-E-N, and a component of older combination pills is associated with an elevated risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attacks and strokes, according to an analysis from the large Reprieve trial. This international study enrolled nearly 7,800 HIV-positive people ages 40 to 75 who had an undetectable viral load and low to moderate cardiovascular disease risk. So I would definitely have been in that category. The main study finding was that a daily statin medication that helps reduce cardiovascular risk because it's for cholesterol. Statins are for cholesterol. Reduced the risk of major cardiovascular events by 35%. The study team also assessed whether certain antiretrovirals previously linked to heart problems were associated with these events. Overall, 13% of participants were currently taking abacavir and 22% reported prior use. Current abacavir users had a 50% higher risk for cardiovascular events, and former users had a 42% of elevated risk compared to those with no exposure. Well, fucking great. I mean, I haven't had exposure to it in 5 years. Other use of other antiretrovirals, including tenofovir, AZT, and protease inhibitors, was not associated with any changes in cardiovascular event risk. So, I don't know. Hopefully I'm no longer at risk. It's been 4 or 5 years since I've had abacavir in my system. Okay, let's talk about this study. This popped up on pause.com or POZ magazine. I follow on Instagram. It says, weekly oral HIV treatment continues to look promising. So, it's islatravir. Well, it's lenacapavir, is the brand name Sunlenca. That's the injectable that's for every 6 months. Is used to treat adults with multi-drug resistant HIV who have not responded to other HIV medications. That's currently who gets Sunlenca. It doesn't mean it wouldn't work for people who are undetectable and have had no problem with treatment. They just aren't currently giving it to those people. It's administered as a subcutaneous injection every 6 months after an initial oral loading period. So you take the oral drug for a while before they give you the injection, just to make sure that you don't have any side effects from the oral drug. And then obviously if you did, you could stop it right then. But once the injection's in, they can't take it out. So it's like they have to make sure orally that everything is good with regards to side effects before they do the injection. And you take that for a while. That's the same with Cabenuva. They have you take the oral for a month, I believe, before they can give you the injection. Because once that injection's in, there's no taking it out. So it says, let's see. Prevention. Lenacapavir is being studied as an investigational treatment for HIV prevention. Lenacapavir is made up of 2 drugs. So lenacapavir is Sunlenca. I'm getting so confused. There's so many different drugs here. In a phase 3 clinical trial, lenacapavir was 100% effective and safe as a long-acting HIV pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, for cisgender women. So they're also prescribing lenacapavir, which is Sunlenca, every 6 months as prep for cisgender women, for women like well, not like me because I have HIV now, but it could have been for me. But it's really for women who are maybe more high risk for HIV. So I would say that would be women who are disproportionately affected by HIV, which includes women of color, women in the South where rates of HIV are very high. I would say like Washington, D.C., Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, any of those states, high rates of HIV, higher risk for them getting it. That is a good solution. Do I like that they have to take another drug to prevent what men are doing behind their backs? No. But if it prevents them from getting HIV, then I'm for it. I mean, it sucks that we always have to do whatever it is to prevent us from having babies or getting HIV. And I feel like men never have to do that much. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to kind of compare the drugs in this study, because what it is, it's a once weekly combination of lenacapavir, so that's the Sunlenca, and islatravir pills. That's what they used for a 48-week study. So it was the combination of the two. These are pills, it's not Sunlenca injection for this particular study. So I wanted to compare those two drugs to the two drugs that are in my pill, Dovato. So islatravir and lamivudine are both nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. They're called NRTIs. So same. Okay, so and remember, we're talking about taking a pill once a week. So I'm already taking one of those drugs. Okay. The second that I wanted to compare was my drug dolutegravir versus Sunlenca, which is the lenacapavir, the oral lenacapavir. So dolutegravir is an integrase strand transfer inhibitor, or an INSTI, N-I-S-T-I, an integrase strand transfer inhibitor. Lenacapavir, the oral we're talking about, is a capsid inhibitor. Okay, which means it disrupts the protein shell that protects HIV's genetic material. From what I get, they seem to do kind of different things. So it says, I know that the one drug that I have is the same in this study, but the other drug, they're kind of doing two different things. One is, I can't really get into it all because I'm not that scientific about it. I didn't read up enough about it ahead of time, but it looks like they might be doing kind of different things, but you know what I mean? They're stopping the replication of the virus, but it might be in different phases of the virus where it can replicate, stuff like that. It gets super technical. Anyways, it says lenacapavir is a capsid inhibitor, which means it disrupts the protein shell that protects HIV's genetic material. This prevents HIV from multiplying by interfering with multiple stages of the viral life cycle. Again, this is the drug that is in this study, this 48-week study that looked really promising for once a week oral regimen. Lenacapavir is well tolerated and has no known cross-resistance to other existing drug classes. The injectable administration of lenacapavir gives providers more control over the drug's administration, which can be important for people who face barriers to HIV treatment. Barriers, just for example, living in a house where no one knows that you have HIV. It could be anything. It just could be like not wanting to go to the doctor, because it could just be depression. It could be drug use. It could be, there's a myriad of reasons why there are barriers to people not getting their treatment. It could be money. I mean, most of the medication is free, but you might have issues with, who knows, just going in somewhere to get on Medi-Cal in California and dealing with all the paperwork or whatever, and then just trying to find a doctor, making that phone call to find a doctor. There's so many little steps to getting yourself set up for medication. And some people just don't have the fortitude to do it. There are other things that become more important. There are so many reasons why people don't stay on treatment or don't get on treatment. There just are. and it's called The Social Determinants of Health. Um, and thankfully, those barriers don't affect me because I have, a lot of things going my way to make sure that my treatment is there. Okay, so moving on. A once weekly combination of lenacapavir, again, the Sunlenca oral, and islatravir, this exactly the same thing that I take, my lamivudine pills, maintained viral suppression for 48 weeks. A weekly oral regimen of Gilead Sciences HIV capsid inhibitor lenacapavir and Merck's experimental antiretroviral islatravir. So again, I keep repeating the same two drugs. Kept the virus suppressed as well as daily pills for a year. So they studied people doing 1 week, and they had a group that were doing it, taking the pill once a week, and I had a group that were taking it daily. Both groups maintained suppression. Where am I? Viral suppression. Okay, so the latest data show that more than 94% of people who switched to weekly lenacapavir and islatravir pills maintained an undetectable viral load. So 94% of the people who switched to a weekly maintained an undetectable viral load, similar to the viral suppression rate of those who stayed on the daily regimen. So it was the same. If data continue to look promising, this could become the longest acting regimen that doesn't involve injections. Once daily antiviral regimens are highly effective, but some people have trouble taking pills every day. And while long-acting injectable regimens like Cabenuva, are the answer for some people, others find it inconvenient to schedule injection appointments, or they simply don't like shots. Very true. Daily single tablet regimens have helped to transform HIV care, but can be challenging for some people to maintain. Elizabeth Ree, Vice President of Global Clinical Development for Merck Research Laboratories, said in a news release, novel HIV treatment options that allow for less frequent oral dosing have the potential to help support adherence and address stigma faced by some individuals taking daily oral therapy. There's stigma. I mean, some people hide their medication and somehow have to figure out how to take a pill without people noticing. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. It's true. And I went to a conference with a guy who's so versed on HIV. He's had HIV for a long time. He does Cabenuva because he says every time he takes an oral pill, which he could do every day, but it's a reminder, he says, of a mistake he made years ago. And it fucks him up. So he doesn't like doing it. So he'd rather have an injection. So, going from 7 days in a row or freaking 30 days in a row to 4 different pills. So going from 30 to 4 in a month is huge for a lot of people. That's a big change psychologically for people, to not have to take it every single day. And also even for me, it makes me feel better. It's I don't need this goddamn thing every day to be, sitting this monster behind me. That's what it feels like. It's like this monster sitting on my shoulder, and it's just waiting, to know that I could do this once a week gives me this relief. I could just take this big breath. Yeah, fuck you, medication. Give me a fucking break. I don't want to do this goddamn thing every day. I don't want to be reminded every day that this is there. It does affect me a little bit, and so I guess that's where I'm at with this every 3 days, just to not have to do it every day and look at that pill every day. I don't know. Something feels better about not doing it every day. I don't know. If you were in this world of HIV and you have it, you would better understand where I'm coming from. And it's really easy for people to criticize and go crazy with their concern when they don't have HIV. They don't live in this world. They don't know a gazillion people with HIV that I'm able to talk to who have experimented with their medication and had no issues. They're just going based on fear and just saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You need to take it every day like your doctor tells you to. But I'm not going to say what my doctor's told me. She asked me not to. Okay. Let's go on here. So Amy Colson Did I fit? Yeah. Amy Colson, MD, MPH, whatever that is a research director at the Community Resource Initiative in Boston, presented the latest findings from a phase 2 trial evaluating once weekly oral lenacapavir plus islatravir as a switch option for people currently on daily Biktarvy, which includes tenofovir. Oh God, I can't say the other names of the medication, but it's 2 drugs with an undetectable viral load. Lenacapavir works differently than other antiretrovirals, so that's the Sunlenca. So it remains active against HIV that has developed It remains active against HIV that has developed extensive resistance. A twice yearly injectable version sold as Sunlenca, we know this, for heavily treatment experienced people with multi-drug resistant HIV. God, this is so wordy. What's more, lenacapavir injections every 6 months were recently shown to be highly effective as pre-exposure prophylaxis. I already read that. For cisgender women and for gay and bisexual men and gender diverse people. Of course, they don't mention hetero men because they are not at risk for HIV. Definitely not at high risk. If they're at risk, it's like not worth mentioning. Gilead also makes a lenacapavir pill that is. I'm sorry, I'm having such a hard time talking today. I don't know why. And I have a cough. Oh God, stop the cough. Gilead also makes a lenacapavir pill that is used as an initial treatment loading dose and may be used for temporary bridging if an injection must be missed. Islatravir is a first-in-class nucleoside reverse transcriptase translocation inhibitor. Again, it's the same as my lamivudine. In prior studies, a daily regimen of islatravir plus... God, I'm not going to get into all that. The development of islatravir hit a snag when studies found that HIV-positive participants... I don't know if I want to read the rest of this. It's a whole friggin' page. I'm not going to read all this. It's so much. I'll just finish the sentence. Hit a snag when treatment trials experienced a decline in CD4 T cell counts and HIV-negative volunteers in prevention studies saw a drop in total lymphocyte counts, prompting the Food and Drug Administration to place a clinical hold on the drug in late 2021. Merck scientists conducted an extensive analysis determining that the doses used in these trials were too high. The FDA subsequently lifted the hold, and studies of islatravir with doravirine and islatravir with lenacapavir, again Sunlenca, resumed using a lower dose. However, its development for PrEP was halted. I don't even know what all that means. Yeah. This gets into everybody who enrolled in the study, their ages, their ethnic backgrounds, all of that. I'm just going to end this with both treatment regimens were safe and generally well tolerated. These new study results support the continued development of lenacapavir and islatravir as a once-weekly oral treatment regimen for people with viral suppression. A fixed-dose combination pill containing the 2 drugs is now being tested. Love that! In the phase 3, it's called the ISLEND-1. That's the name of the study. And the ISLEND-2 trials. So they're putting the drugs together in one pill. The future of HIV treatment the future of HIV treatment is person-centered, meaning we need to look at what the person needs. Instead of just throwing things at people, we need to think about the psychology of people. So the future of HIV treatment is person-centered with long-acting options tailored to help meet the needs and preferences of people affected by HIV. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. The complexities of HIV care require putting people first and the development of biomedical innovations as we keep striving to offer options for all those living with HIV. I feel like I did a shitty job reading that. I really apologize. I tried. I'm dealing with phlegm and I don't know. I'm just not able to get the words out. A lot of these words are hard to say. Bacavir, lamivudine, lenacapavir. I mean, now that I'm saying it, the muscle memory in my mouth is saying it better, but gosh, sometimes it's hard to say. And it's hard to read studies. But anyways, that's on pause.com if you want to look it up. Again, the name of the article, well, I'll link it in my stuff here. Just look in the bio, it'll be there. But it was called The Weekly Oral HIV Treatment Continues to Look Promising. That was the title of it. So, that's about all I have to say here this week. I hope that makes sense. So I am glad that in that study, one of the drugs was exactly like mine. The other one, I really can't compare dolutegravir to the oral of Sunlenca because they do appear to do different things. But I still feel like I'm being safe. I mean, every 72 hours versus every 24, I don't think this is not a stretch. I really don't believe it is. Like I said, I do believe that they have to do the every single day because of just how people are. People forget. And so it's just scientists sat down. They're like, look, people are dumb. We need to tell them every day, even though we know this medication lasts longer. There's no freaking way that what I'm putting in my body after 24 hours just poof is gone. It's not. There's no way. I mean, obviously it's going to start, there's a phase, obviously, where it starts to weaken, but I don't know for sure. I will find out, but I feel really good. I mean, I feel like maybe after like, who knows, 72 hours or even longer, that's when it might start to filter down. But I still feel like there's a strong load of it in my system when I take that pill. That's just my belief based on talking to many people who have cut back on their medication and have had success. And, if I am wrong and I get my blood drawn in December, at the end of December, and things look like they've changed, of course, I'll go back to every day. But I'm really looking forward to switching to this possibility once it becomes available. So I would switch in a heartbeat from Dovato to the Sunlenca, whatever that one is called. But they don't have a name for it yet because they're still like testing it together, which is kind of funny. It's like they know it works in two separate pills, but now they have to put it together in one pill and see if it still works. Of course, why wouldn't it work? But they have to do that, I guess, for the Food and Drug Administration. So, I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but it's like it's still the same two drugs. So once those are put together in a pill, and by the way, let's say what I'm doing right now is somehow affecting me with regards to resistance. There are so many other medications I could take, and Sunlenca is one of them. Sunlenca is the one that is only meant right now for people who have had drug resistance with everything. This is their last shot, is Sunlenca. So Sunlenca would be available to me. Like, I know this isn't like I'm going to like screw up Dovato and then my options are gone. That's not how it works. Like there's other options, and obviously this is one that's well tolerated. It's really well liked, obviously, for so many reasons because it's long acting. And so then, that would be an option for sure. So I don't feel like I'm playing with fire. I don't feel like I'm, putting myself in any kind of jeopardy. I feel fine. And yeah, God, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with our world and everything. Like, I want some medication on hand. I do. So I'm in the process of doing that. Okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a great week, and I love you all, and leave comments, and yeah, you all be well. Okay, bye-bye. If you'd like to be notified for any of my upcoming podcasts, be sure to subscribe. If you'd like to help this girl out, then please rate, review, and share my show. Thanks, guys.